there were like no buses on the roads on my way down this morning.
Really?
Yeah. As a result of industrial action being taken by drivers at the JUTC. So it looks like it's going to be a problematic morning for many commuters out there. Yeah. As we get more information throughout the morning, we'll definitely tell you what's going on, but there is some action being taken by drivers at the JUTC. We say good morning to you. It's a Thursday morning. It's day number 30, and we're here with you until 10 o'clock this morning. Means that we have, one more day to go in the month of March. It's almost at the end already, and March is definitely marching on really fast. It's now time, ladies and gentlemen, at 27 past the hour of 6 o'clock. Time for WTF, What the Fact? And it's not a long script for this one, but it's a powerful achievement and one that we commend indeed. In the year 1879, yeah, I'm going that far back, the first African-American woman earned a professional nursing license. And I'm sure that you're interested to know her name. Well, as a teenager, Mary Eliza Mahoney. That's her name, Mary Eliza Mahoney. For those streamers, you're seeing her on the screens right now. As a teenager, she knew that she wanted to become a nurse. So in 1879, she became the first African American to earn a professional nursing license. After working for decades as a private nurse, she became the director of the Howard Orphanage Asylum for Black Children in Long Island, New York. A phenomenal achievement by a phenomenal lady. And that was, of course, Mary Eliza Mahoney. First African-American woman to earn a professional nursing license. All right, there you have it. It's 28 minutes now past the hour of 6 o'clock. That was WTF, What the Fact?
Yeah, get them all.
Alright, here we go, Bridge Nation. Here we go. We all know cup noodles, right? Yeah, man. Lifesavers. Yeah, man. But apparently, them are looking for save even more lives. You know, watch a style. Yeah. Cup noodles are looking to introduce a new limited edition breakfast flavor. Yeah, man. We Jamaicans say breakfast flavor. We've been using it for breakfast. What do you mean? So here we go. According to sources, the breakfast cup will mix flavors of sausage, egg, and maple syrup pancakes into it. I don't know how that's gonna work, isn't it? Like other ramen flavors, the meal takes 4 minutes to cook, as we know, in the microwave, simply by adding water to the package. So the cup noodle breakfast, that's what it's called, the cup noodle breakfast, is currently being sold in select Walmarts overseas.
Yeah,
no reach yet. So man, I hope. Yeah, Jody, I know you want to see a picture. I saw them up on. I send it to you. Yeah, but hey man, I hope you reach a yard. But I guess I'm gonna say, Jamaicans been use it for breakfast. Maybe we don't need it. We need it. Come on, try it.
Well, is it the same size?
Same one, same cup, same little cup noodle, just different. It'll come with breakfast flavors.
So it's really more like flavors, really, more than.
I'm curious. This one, I'm curious. I don't know if I'm gonna drop 2 francs in it or something. I'm curious.
All right, let's see if and when that product gets here in Jamaica. I'm sure many people will enjoy it. All right. On a side note, Carlton Livingston, the older brother of reggae icon Neville Bunny Wailer Livingston, he passed recently, and he will be laid to rest on April 7 at the Grace Lawn in Newcastle in Delaware, USA, following a service at the Eslon Fair Baptist Church in Wilmington, also in Delaware. He was 77 years of age, and he passed away in Newark on March 23, 2 days prior to his March 25 birthday, and in fact 2 years after his brother Bunny Wailer's death on March 2, 2021. He had been undergoing treatment for what the family said in a press release was a long illness. Our deepest condolences to the Livingston family. One of the members still here as part of our team, Asad Anaki. We say condolences to you, all right? Now, Bounty Killer, this is the final one. Bounty Killer has called Spice the the GOAT, G-O-A-T, the greatest of all time. And in fact goes on to say that she's the baddest woman bout here right now. And he closes that statement by saying, "Oh, vex."
Yeah.
Bounty Killer and Spice are lauding each other for their decades of service to dancehall music. Spice is getting a lot of love from the dancehall space months after returning following a near-death experience due to surgery complications. The artist broke her silence for the first time a week ago with a stunt pretending that she was pregnant. She later explained the publicity stunt was metaphoric for her new lease on life, a rebirth following her near-death experience. Since then, Spice has been in a mood of praise to God, and she revealed that she died on the surgery table and had to be revived by doctors. The artist recently released 2 new tracks, "Gotta Bless Me" and "Spice Marley," which have her fan base active on TikTok. Many have been welcoming to her, including the likes of Bounty Killer and Amari. And on Tuesday, we understand that Spice reposted an endorsement from Bounty Killer, who seemed to shut down any talk of competition coming from any female dancehall artist when he said, "Baddest woman bout ya, oh vex." Spice also acknowledged Bounty's endorsement, writing, "The GOAT, my inspiration. Don't talk." Bounty Killer added, "Only a goat knows a goat." There they are together on the screen.
Yeah,
25 years of dominance, it's over. No other ain't near or close. Stay great and grateful. Grace, we love you, girl. So that's a lot of love being shown between Spice and Rodney Price.
Two greats.
Yeah, 2 greats
Big up.
who have made a phenomenal contribution. You can't take that away from them.
Yeah, sir.
And they're still in the game, still active, and still making wonderful music. So we say congratulations to both of them. All right, it's 6:36 and a half, and that was
Update.
So it's now time for the proverb
of the day.
Let's get it.
Finger never say look here, him say look yonder.
Okay.
Finger never say look here, him say look yonder.
I mean, my point
Elsewhere.
in a different direction.
Instead of to himself. I get it. Yeah.
That's right. And that is, and when you look at the meaning, you really will get it even clearer. In case you were having any doubts, Bridge Nation. The meaning of that proverb, finger never, by the way, N-E-B-E-R. Please don't say never.
Yeah, that makes
All right, so finger never say look here. Him say look yonder. I thought it would have said look ya. Look here is really
like
more
yonder.
appropriate. Yeah.
I like yonder.
You like it?
Yeah, because yonder just means,
Yeah,
you
man.
know, we over some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I meant look first. Look here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it could have been.
The look here
but
part.
it's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
appropriate to say look here. So we're not changing that at all. Please don't misunderstand. Finger never say look here. Him say look yonder. That means people do not usually point out their own faults.
Facts.
Are you guilty?
Nah. No.
All right.
Once we know them.
Yeah. We're not here to judge you, but just bear
Yeah.
that in mind as one of our very popular proverbs, all right?
Yeah.
Now we'll move into our pet peeve of the morning. And of course, pet peeves are things that people do that you might find upsetting, annoying, irritating. What are your pet peeves? We'd love to hear from you, but let's hear from one of the members of our Bridge Nation right now with today's pet peeve.
You know what my pet peeve is? You know when you're traveling in public transportation and like, alright, say 3 persons sitting around the back and somebody come out and then the other person still hitch up on you like, come now. I mean, me probably smell good and I look appealing or attractive, but just ease off, you know, you see, especially even in a COVID, like the skin thing, like people skin are touching your skin, it's not cute. So just make it ease up a little bit in the man personal space. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's just brother stick on to her.
Like glue. Yeah, man.
If I know who that is, I'm assuming I know.
Yeah, man, me too.
And I think we all would say, but we know why. You know what I mean?
Can't blame him.
Yeah. So the bus get empty and my come on, still each other. Nah, move.
Man.
Like no
Listen up.
space, no debt.
The man say,
Me I'll hold my space. No matter what.
Poor guy probably not even realize.
Now move.
Chano. Now, her name has been in the news quite a lot recently for a number of reasons, but most recently she has in fact been calling on the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Honorable Carl Samuda, to immediately establish a joint industrial council for industrial security. And further, she's asking that he ensures that all stakeholders are at the table with an opportunity to determine the industry's future. There's a lot happening in the world of the security guards and with the security guards and the contracts they have with their companies, and so this is quite a topical issue.
Yeah.
But for fear a listener out there is saying, "Shut up, Richie, and get on to the interview," I think I'm just going to go right into it right now. So let's go. Good morning, Mrs. Angela Brown-Burke. How are you? Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for the invite. Morning to you and your listeners as well.
Yes, so nice to have you. All right, Angela, you've been in the news a lot. We're going to talk about your most recent statements regarding security officers, but many people would want me to say congratulations on having tendered that apology based on what happened in Parliament. You did that on your own volition and not by coercion, I suspect.
I did it on my own volition because I believe that the way in which I spoke at the time is not really what we would want to see in Parliament. And I did it because I was incensed at the racial slurs being used and the attitude of the Speaker, of the leader of government business, and of the other members. And I mean, obviously, when you looked at it, you realize that it was not a off-the-cuff comment that the minister made, but that it was a deliberate, well-thought-out, coordinated, and choreographed message that they were sending. And I thought that that was going too low, and doing it in the Parliament was really beyond the pale.
So obviously you don't accept then what Minister Clark said in terms of explaining by what he did and how he did it.
I reject any notion that that was actually anywhere near being truthful.
Mm-hmm. All right. I see where there's a meeting to be held between the members of the PNP and the Speaker of the House to sort of iron out some of the issues that you have been having in Parliament. Has that date been set, and or has it happened yet?
We did have a meeting. 4 of our members met with the Speaker and had a discussion with her. I'm not at liberty to say all of what it was, but generally speaking, it really was about making sure that we saw fairness from the Speaker, we saw mutual respect across the aisle, and that there was consistency in what we regard as being unparliamentary.
All right. And you're hopeful that you'll see some kind of change going forward?
I'm hopeful that we'll see that, but what I do know is that the incident with the minister's comments has really marked a line in the sand. And what that means is that on our side, we are very clear that we have to ensure every single time that the standard is kept high and that we insist on consistency and fairness from the Speaker, and that we take no disrespect from the other side.
All right. Now, moving on to a even more current issue, that of what's happening out there with the security guards and within the security industry. It seems like some companies are putting on some new conditions, imposing some new conditions on security guards. And we want to find out from you, what are the issues you're having with some of these conditions and how it might affect the guards themselves?
Well, it's really a very simple matter. Simple in the sense that we call it in a transition period, because since the judgment from Justice Batch, where we have come to recognize officially that many of the security guards employed under those circumstances are employees and should be treated as such, we have been talking about making sure all of these companies obey the law and employ these workers under those conditions. The government came out and said, okay, as of April 1, we are going to be insisting on, certainly in the government service, making sure persons have contracts that reflect that, and we are urging the private sector to do the same. I had asked when they did that to say it has to be more than just saying we are encouraging private sector. We should demand that they do the same, and it should be policed and managed and overseen by the government. They didn't take that on. So what we see happening now, certainly, I mean, from the reports we've gotten and from videos that we have seen, is that some of the companies are actually requiring the officers to sign a new contract on April 1. Now, let's understand what that means, regardless of the terms that are in the contract. The first thing is that it almost nullifies, especially for some of those who are doing it under a new company, it nullifies the time you've spent with that company. Yes? What it also means is that if you sign a contract on April 1, what happens to your years of service? Yes? Does that mean you're going to start afresh with a time of probation? Or does that mean that you start immediately as a tenured employee? Does that mean that your sick leave, your vacation, you come with those accrued? Or are you going to start the count then? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, clearly.
If a company were to dismiss you because they no longer require your service, they would then have to pay redundancy, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But if you ignore that and start afresh, then all of that goes through the window.
I see.
And I think the most important thing for me is that I really believe that this is not an act of good faith. You know, it isn't. We have come to recognize that the security guards have been exploited all this time. There is a judgment that is asking for some kind of redress. And here you are trying to wiggle out of all of that. It doesn't look good. It's not nice. The companies say that they can't. In one of the videos, we heard someone purporting to be, someone saying that we can't afford the minimum wage that's being asked. So we are asking and encouraging you to sign this new contract. So that means that the new contract does not have in it all of what it should to protect the workers. Yes? I am certain that these companies have spent some time and some money with their lawyers to draft these contracts. And so I really believe that security guards need to understand that they can't read it and look at it and say, okay, everything is hunky-dory, everything is okay. Because it wasn't a man sitting on the corner who drafted that. So they too should need their legal representative to look at that contract to make sure that they're not being taken advantage of. And I mean, especially at this time, for persons who have worked with you for how long, who recognize that you had not been paying them as you should have. You had not been giving them the perks that they were entitled to. Hard fought and won workers' rights. You are now trying to find another way of making sure they don't get it. It's bad. It's very bad. And I believe that the government needs to step in.
Understood.
The big thing for me is what they've been asking for. The Minister of Labour and Social Security seems to be either asleep on the job, either he has dropped that catch, or he just does not care. And it's worrying.
Now Dr. Brown-Burke, how can the Labour Advisory Committee, for example, ensure that the security guards get the benefits they truly deserve with these new contracts being imposed?
Well, what I'd ask is for them to move very quickly and have the matter addressed by the Labour Advisory Committee. The truth is that I'm not sure what is in the report that they have already sent to Cabinet.
Okay.
But I suspect, because they have looked at the matter, is that they have made some recommendations. And therefore, if the matter is brought before that committee, what would happen is that they would get an opportunity to look at the new contract. They certainly would be in a better position to actually, and by the way, it includes members of the companies, representatives of the companies, and trade unions. I had said when the minister first mentioned it to me in Parliament during the Standing Finance Committee that even that, I believe, is really should be an interim step, because it is the JIC that is required, where you actually have voices representing the workers in the room, where they too can have their say. And I'm not suggesting that the unions are not able to talk on their behalf, but I resent this notion that the voice of security officers, that voice is not important, and they don't need to have a seat at the table. I resent that and reject that, quite frankly.
Right. So obviously the People's National Party, yourself and your team there, will keep all of this in sight as you try to ensure that the security guards are treated fairly in this process.
No, absolutely. We understand how difficult it is for them to stand up and speak for themselves, because once you do that, you expose your hand. And in this new environment, it means that you are under scrutiny. If a new contract is to be designed, and I suspect a new contract would have to be designed, but we have to make sure that it has all the protection of the workers. And part of the challenge with the April 1 is that many of them are currently under contract, and that contract is not yet expired. Yes? Yeah. And so we are going to keep our eye on it. We know it's difficult for them because it puts them at risk at being victimized. Yes? And that is something that we want to prevent. And we are urging and calling the government to remember that they represent the rights of, they have to represent their workers. Yes? They have to make sure that their rights are not abrogated and not taken away from them.
All right. Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, thank you as always for talking with us and sharing those thoughts. All right. Have a wonderful day. All right. Take care. And it's now time for us to head over for our UK connection. Bridge 99 FM joins The Beat, London 103.6 FM for the UK connection with none other than Robo Rex.
Robo Rex.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good day.
None other than we are in the building, Wagwan. Good morning, team. Good morning, Jamaica. Good afternoon. And it's a good afternoon, London, because we are way into the afternoon, as you know, Richie. These 6 hours, 1 hour makes such a big difference in life, man. I would normally do the show and then have lunch after. Now I got to have lunch with a full belly and come and do the show. It makes a big difference to me.
I got you. You're talking at the minute, and some people even that haven't even had breakfast yet.
Guilty.
Yeah. But no worries. Lots of excitement here. Of course, boys and girls champs are on the way. And you might have seen by now some of the records. I mean, how proud are you and myself and Shelz? Shelz in particular, because it's a student from his alma mater. This young man, Nkrumah, who becomes now the third youngster in the world to dip below 10 seconds over 100 meters. He did it last night in 9.99. Wow. Obviously the first Jamaican to do it. That's just one. We have another record from a young lady by the name of Alana Reed, who broke a record that was set by Veronica Campbell Brown many years ago, from 2001, I think it is. And she did the 100 meter in 10.92. I mean, this is what is happening.
10.92.
UK needs to know that we got our track and field thing going on in a big way.
I don't think we've got talent like that. 10.92. I mean, Asher
class
Smith,
4.
Asher, I can't remember her surname. She was like a young prodigy, and she's now like at the top of her game in track and field here in the UK. But I never heard numbers like that, bro.
Yeah, bro, it's serious, man. It's serious.
Crazy. So the talent pool is just it's
phenomenal.
It just keeps going.
Keeps going.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we hope that many of these students who are doing well at the high school level will continue with track and field beyond the high school level, because not all of them do. Some do and go on to become real big stars, but we're hoping that these talents, I mean, trust me, if you have this kind of talent, you don't want to put it to waste. You want to be using it.
Yeah,
trust me.
100%. But it doesn't always transpire, as we know. There's plenty of child stars in sports that, you know, by the time they get to a real age where they should be challenging, it fizzles out. So, but let's hope that we see more, because the world dominance that Jamaica has on track and field, you don't want to be giving that title up anytime soon.
Future looks really bright for us. There used to be some talk back in the day about burnout. Some of the students suffering burnout, and they lose interest after boys and girls champs.
Collegiate circuit. Yeah.
Right, but we're hoping that we just want to bask in the moment and wish them well going forward, whichever way they decide to go. You know what I mean?
Funny, it happens a lot in tennis, but we ain't talking tennis. We're talking jacket. There's so much burnout with young talent in tennis that they win multiple trophies as like 14, 15, 16, and by the time they reach a real decent age, burnout. But track and field, long may it continue. Long may it continue.
Yes, sir. I second that.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to welcome this beautiful lady. She's she hails from the eastern side of Kingston, Harbour View, actually, and she got involved in music a while now. She used to sing. Did you know that she used to sing on a church choir, Shelz?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, man. She used to sing on a church choir. Okay. I happen to know also that her father is a gospel musician. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
What else you want me to tell about that? She joined Indignation Collective. Can I tell you the year?
Go on, sure.
You know?
No.
You don't know?
I'm with you.
Oh, yes. Well, not follow our career like me. What? I mean, I don't follow our career or what? That was in the year 2020, brethren.
Man.
Yeah, man.
We just wanted to know if you knew.
Yeah, man, I know. And I talked to you about a song earlier, which I always use to lift my own mood.
Jaz Elise. Don't make me rock and roll.
What is happening?
I like this right now.
Bam, bam, bam.
Jaz Elise, let me just tell you about my DJ there. He has this tendency where he goes, one more. But if he continues like that, we're not gonna get as much an opportunity of talking to you. So hardly. Cool out a little bit, all right? All right. Good morning and welcome, Jaz. How you doing?
Good morning. I am blessed. I'm happy.
Yeah.
No vibes up. I like it.
Give thanks, man.
At the Bridge 99 today. Yeah, but you see, our vibes is up partly because of what you have given us in terms of your music. I mean, that song, we played it a while ago, Not Now Mess Up My Mood. We use that to lift our own spirits very
all the
often.
time.
Wow.
All the time.
You know what I mean? Did you write it to lift your own spirit?
Yeah, you know that song was very... I can get a quick backstory of that song. So I remember at the time, I'd gotten some very hurtful news. You know, it's petty stuff like, oh my gosh, this person don't like you because of such and such. Yeah, man, it in everything way in the song is truth. And I remember I'm a ball. I cry, I did feel bad because somebody me rate. You know, I not really dislike people like that, you know. And then when I find me sad. And then I was at home looking out at the mountains and the birds that chirp, and it's just a nice vibe, and then the song just started to flow. Because at the end of the day, people are going to say what they want to say. They might go be unkind if they want to be unkind, and they may, you know, they experience you through their own reality. So it don't mean it have to be wrong or right. It's their reality. It's what they're going through. It's about them. It's not about me. So most I gotta keep my upful vibe and move with love. And that's really where the song came from.
You keep it real, and do you like writing about life's experiences generally? I mean, you get a lot of inspiration from life itself.
Have to because that's like, I never go music school and writing school, so like I only had what I went through or what I saw around me to draw from to write. I never really have a technicality of this and that and whatever, so that's the only thing I can draw from.
Has it gotten easier for you as you've progressed?
For sure.
Yeah?
For sure. You reach your 150th song in writing.
Like you?
And what? The amount of song, you not hear, you not go hear none of them song there. But there's a lot. The more you do it every day, it's just more hours, more time, more vibing, more inspiration, and you realize you reach 150, and you just say, oh. It's easier when you reach 100 than when you were trying to bust your brain to write your first song.
That's good to hear.
Respect. Now, watch your style, you know, Jaz. When you're out there in the streets, right? And you know, you all a vibe with the fans of the music. I get this feeling, whether it be reggae or dancehall, the fans out there, the consumers have this weird feeling that someone has to be on top, like there has to be one person, right? Now, given your works with Diggy and other creatives in the industry, the community, and of course the collaborative efforts as well, how important is a creative community for Jaz Elise?
Not 100%. Like I've been blessed to, as you know, you said in the beginning, like be a part of Indignation from 2020, and I see how important a community is. I know Diggy by himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not protege one up there so alone. That's just not what I see. For any of my mentors in this music business, my peers, people around me, they always have supporters around them. From even if he's doing a writing session with a musician, and then you have another writer with you who is a musician plus a artist plus a this plus a that, and you have a couple dancers, street man where they're with you for give you the vibes or where you go for, because they're in it, they know, you know, what to move to, and you're not just, it's a whole, the team where you work with, it's not you alone. You alone cannot do it at all. Rock and Groove did make in the studio with all four of we. Just a vibe and a do a thing, and it don't always have to be like that. Sometimes you by yourself in your room and you write a song, but at the end of the day, are you one on top and then what? Figure do what?
Right. So you see value in that community.
Absolutely.
And obviously you shed everything to do with competition and rivalry, because it's more about support that you get and support that you give.
Absolutely. For those who dibble and dabble in rivalry, that is for you. Right. But it's not for Jaz Elise.
Respect.
Aren't you a psychology major?
No.
What did you study?
No, currently no.
Oh, okay.
But previously, yeah, I went to school, did the degree thing.
Right.
For sure, my parents say, parents, I go to school. See it, yeah? Got enough school we do, you know. We go from my barn, we just go school.
See that? Yeah.
Prep school, high school, whatever, basic school, prep school, prep. Done school.
Yeah.
So now you're doing you.
Yeah,
did you have any difficulty? Your dad is a musician himself.
Yeah.
But did you have any challenges getting mommy and daddy to buy into this vision now that you'd have had some years ago?
You know, I'm just now realizing that I must be delusional. Because when I left school, before I left school, you know, I said, Mommy, I know we pay that tuition here for the school. I'm not finished yet, but I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do music. I had that conversation. Look, thinking on it now, my mother must have been this mad.
Yeah.
She delusion, not even from a non-supportive place, but just from a place of, you know, the Migla school. And I did well in school. Right? Because when I put my mind to things, I not lie, I do good.
Yeah.
When I put my mind to things, I'm going to put my best and my all in it. So, you know, when I first told them, they must have been saying, this girl is delusional, but they didn't say it. Them just say, okay, let's see. That's my all right, let's see. You sure you know what you're doing? You sure you know? All right. And them just let me do what I do, and they've been with me on that journey ever since.
Must be very happy for you right now.
I hope so. Mommy, if you listen, because I know you love listening radio.
All right, we have a lot to congratulate you for, and you have a lot to be thankful for as well. Interestingly, though, I mean, you do a lot of reggae music. You do some R&B. You love R&B as well. Even you dabble in some dance hall, but your name is Jaz Elise. Tell us about the name, and because initially when I started hearing about you a few years ago, I was thinking that this is the new find in terms of jazz music.
Oh, nobody makes that. Okay.
He's like,
yeah. So.
Well, it's a quick story. My name is Jasmine. So most people who know me, friends or whatever, they'd call me Jaz. So when I was looking for a name, the name was already mine. So I just use it.
All right. Nice quick story. Shelz?
Yeah, that's it.
Now what you know, Jaz, you have a tune right now named Rice and Peas.
Yes,
we tease it like earlier, but we never get to hear it properly. You know, more not like, what's the motivation behind Rice and Peas?
Rice and Peas. All right. Oh my goodness. First of all, big up Stephen McGregor, the genius, the producer of this track. Who me and him sit down in a studio in LA and vibe it out.
Yeah,
okay. Was an amazing experience to, a dream of mine to work with him firstly. But the song freestyle and write in that one session there with him. He was just like, all right, Jaz, what vibe you feeling? This about our second or so song where we did a work on. My second trip to LA. And I say, you know, I feel a little nice, you know, I feel a groove, and him just start tap on it. Like his studio, him have keyboard, him have this, him have that, and him just start. And him head a bop and him a go and I don't know what him doing over there, you know, but then him press play and him hear it and you see me like the bounce and the vibe and the energy just from him saying, Jazz, what mood you in right now? What vibe you? The first song we do, I never that mood there. We're not gonna hear it though, but just that energy of what I'm feeling right now, so you know, say a real lyrics, so you know, say, I did I feel something at the time, and as how the song I say, so when you play the song, you're not gonna hear what Jaz Elise sing about. At the time. So all of the couples out there, all of the to-be couples, even if you're by yourself, love yourself, because you still nice like rice and peas. Like Jaz Elise. Yeah.
Make we listen now.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
We want to hear this.
Big song.
Isn't it? Nice like rice and peas.
All right.
Well done, Jazz. Well done.
Give thanks.
And all the teams. Who we worked with on that video? Who directed it?
So Fernando Hevia, and he directed it. Samo, assistant director. They did a great job. Big up all of the dancer, them, Kissy, Katie. Those are the two girls in the video. Color by Elliot, who colored the video. Who else now? All of them Monday. You see them Monday now. Energy. Big up yourself. Shakespeare, Kelly, Snow, Pataskeng. Yeah, man, that's the whole crew.
Was it all done in Jamaica or you had some?
Jamaica.
Strictly.
Jamaica for sure.
I like to ask, like artists like yourself, having done a song like this, obviously you told the story behind it, but are you feeling and are you getting a vibe like this is on its way to becoming another hit from in your catalog?
I feel it. Oh, sorry. Just Jeff, that's the lead male in the video. Big up yourself. See him beautiful face right there, so oh gosh, man, look pretty. So cute. Sorry, continue.
No problem. You feel that this one is going to do well,
it feels good. I never know what's going to do or not do. I just know that I feel amazing listening to the song. It makes me feel good. I think of all the beautiful things in my life when I hear the song. And that's just how I hope every single person who watches the video, who listens to the song, I hope that's how they feel. And if that means hits, because everybody feels so, I take it.
All right. You're in a very competitive industry, Jaz Elise. You're obviously standing out. When you look at it, though, what do you think is unique about you and makes you stand out amidst this large batch of ladies who are in this very competitive industry?
I mean, give thanks firstly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm me, so sometimes when you're in it, it's really hard to see where and what and how, but I'm grateful that you see my work and you appreciate it, but at the end of the day, my work just have to speak for itself. I mean, who I am as a person is who I am. So the Jaz Elise you see, even though she is, you know, Jaz Elise is a version of me, she's the more outgoing, in your face, fearless, more courageous version of me.
Than Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine, there you want to watch Netflix. You know, look on her, tend to her plants, them, and her water plants, and wipe down plant leaf, and garden and everything. She with her guitar, she chill. Yeah. But,
you
I just
play the
have
guitar?
to be me.
You play? Okay.
Respect.
Do you use it on stage in your performance?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
I really want to.
Okay.
I'm working towards that. I've been practicing and working towards just, you know, doing it. I've done it. I've played the guitar a couple times at dub club, dub school, just vibing out there. So the more I do that, hopefully we'll reach on the next time I do a big stage.
All right.
Respect.
Well, your social media handles is where we want to ask you to, if you want to highlight those so people can follow you.
Course.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm about to jump on Instagram and go post a video because it just dropped.
Oh, you mean?
What may I say now? What you asked
Social
me a
media.
while ago? Social media. So, sorry. Jaz Elise, Jazelelise. That's on Instagram, Facebook page. What else is there? TikTok is Jaz Elise, Jazeliseja. TikTok, I say TikTok, Twitter, same thing. Facebook, Instagram, same thing. What else out there? YouTube, Jaz Elise, the video is out right now.
Mad.
It's a good look.
Good to see you. Good to have you in the studios at this early hour. Yeah. And I wish you continued success, Jazz, with your career.
Thank you so much.
And give my regards to the entire crew.
Yes.
You know the thing go. Bless up yourself, all right?
Thank you so much. Big up yourself.
Every time. And this morning I have come to realize that our usual presenter, who has been off for a little bit, returns this morning. And we're talking about the Deputy Public Defender himself, Mr. Herbert McKenzie, who joins us today. Good morning, Mr. Mack.
Greetings, Mr. Mack.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
It is fair to say that you were missed by many of your legion of fans out there.
Oh, no, that's so occurring.
Yes.
Well, I'm back, yeah.
Yeah, man. But without further ado, in a serious way, I'd just like to express our deepest condolences to you and your family on the passing of, I believe, your sister recently, which contributed to your absence. And implore you to be strong, and God will see you through. All right, my bro?
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, Mr. Mack, this morning, it's a very touchy subject. The Sex Offender Registry is what we're focusing on. We understand that this registry was enacted, meaning it came about with the Sexual Offences Act back in 2011. And my information is that the Deputy Public Defender, of course, will be giving us a lot of information about that this morning. So it's over to you. Let's go with what, first of all, is the Sexual Offender Registry?
It's another registry, and we know that a registry is an office where documents and records are kept. So the Sexual Offenders Registry is that office where the records of persons who are deemed sexual offenders are kept. Now, if you recall, the Sexual Offences Act came about in 2011. That was following a spate of real serious sexual offences that had occurred previously. And there was one view that the sexual offences, as contained in the then Offence Against the Person Act, was not sufficient to capture all the type of sexual offences that were going on and that were committed. So that gave rise to the Sexual Offences Act as one piece of law that seeks to capture all the diverse ways in which sexual offences can be committed. And because we had repeated offenders, the decision was taken that we should have a registry where persons who were convicted of any type of sexual offences, records of them are kept so that we know who is who walking up and down amongst us. But before I get into the meat of the matter, though, there's one problem. Well, I call it a problem. There's one feature of the Sexual Offences Act which arguably derogates from the effectiveness of that. And this is it. You and your management at Bridge cannot contact the Sexual Offences Act to find out if Tom Jones was applied for a job is a sexual offender. So to that extent, it's argued that it does not carry much of a weight. But anyway, it is as it is now, the Sexual Offenders Registry. And what it does is it records certain offences, sexual offences, and the persons or person who is guilty of that offence as convicted in court must go to them or go to that office and register himself. The law stipulates those offences that attract that sort of thing. It's not all sexual offences, but it's most. But under the Sexual Offences Act, it enumerates them. It's quite a number of them, probably about 16, 18. But of course, the obvious ones are going to be there. The rape, the incest, the grievous sexual assault, the sexual intercourse with person under 16, living on the earnings of prostitution, abduction or kidnap of persons under 16 from the parent or guardian, forcing a child to have sex with an adult, all the diversities of sexual offences in the way they can be committed are captured under that. So once you have been convicted of one of those sexual offences, they call them specified offences, and I'll use the term going forward. Because of specified offence, you must now go to the sexual register and register yourself as a sex offender. Now, apart from the Sexual Offences Act, there are two other pieces of law which have provisions which, if convicted thereunder, you are similarly obligated to report to the sex offenders registry. And by the way, before I say what those other offenses are, the sexual offenders registry is actually run by the Department of Correctional Services. Under the law, it's regarded as part of the Office of the Commissioner of Corrections. Now, the two other laws under which conviction can guarantee you an obligation to visit the sexual offenders registry are the offenses against a person's act itself, specifically the offenses of buggery and bestiality, in the attempt to commit those two, and an offense called outrageous indecency, male-to-male exposure, male-to-male sexual interplay, those sort of things, whether done in public or private. And then the Child Care and Protection Act, trafficking in children. So those offenses under the Offense Against the Person Act, which I just mentioned, and trafficking in child under the Child Care and Protection Act will ensure that an obligation is put upon the person convicted to visit the sexual offenders register and have yourself registered as a sexual offender. Now, once you go there as a sexual offender, there's some basic information that is going to be captured after. The offense for which you have been convicted, and like I said, there are diverse offenses appearing on the three laws now. The date you were convicted, the court in which you were convicted, the sentence, your name, date of birth, your address, and whether or not you have previously been convicted of any of these specified offenses. And also, there must be included it whether or not you have been exempted by the court from reporting. Let me point out the difference here. Once you are convicted of any of the specified offenses, you are a sexual offender under the law. But there's a reporting condition that requires you to report periodically. The judge can exempt you from reporting periodically after your initial visit. It is also to be noted in case anybody asks a question, what if the sentence is one that sends you to prison? How does the reporting go? Well, there's no physical reporting by you, the convicted person who is serving a prison sentence. The Department of Correctional Service, under whose department the offenders registry falls, reports you in, because remember you're in their care already. And there's no need to be reporting to them already, because you actually, as a guest of the state, they're going to let you out to go and report to the sexual offender registry in the area in which you live. Now, and people might ask, how can you be convicted of sexual offense and not in custody? Well, you can, because an offense like sexual touching, and I'm not seeking to trivialize it. If you touch in the appropriate area, appropriate place, in appropriate time, inappropriately, then you would have committed an offense, and it is foreseeable, especially if you are a young man to first offense, that you might not get a custodial sentence. You might get a sentence, you're bound over to keep the peace, or some of the offense that takes you out of the Department of Correctional Facilities. In that case, it is envisaged that you are out there walking upon the one, so you go and report. And once you are entered in the sexual offenders registry, you stay there for 10 years. Your name stay there for 10 years. After the 10 years have passed, then a judge will determine whether or not it should be extended, or determine the 10 years terminate your stay on the records there. No, the judge can extend it. The judge can extend it beyond another 10 years. And when that second 10 year or whatever the period is extended for expire, you have to go back before the judge again and get relieved or released, or it's extended. And it's possible that you can't get a second extension, because if while you out, you get a non-custodial sentence for the first offense that carried you there, you out, you commit yourself again. Then when your 10 year would have elapsed and you go back to the judge with a subsequent conviction, the judge said, no, you are a serial offender, stay with us for another 10 years in the records. So that's how it is possible. Now, I must also point out too, that during your stay in the registry, you can apply to a court for you to be removed if the court, having considered all your personal circumstances, believe that you can be removed before your 10 years expire. And there are quite a number of factors that are taken into consideration. Now, once you are registered as a sexual offender, there are certain things that you cannot do and some things that you're obliged to do. First and foremost, you have to give what is called a primary residence. You can have a secondary residence that you give to, but you must give a primary residence. You cannot leave Jamaica without informing the registry in advance. You have to inform the registry of any change of your address within 14 days of doing so. If you have to have a name change, say for example by deed poll, or if you're a woman offender and you're married and get a new name, you have to inform the registry within 14 days of that change. And after your initial report, even if the registrar, when you made a report, does not tell you, then the next report, if you're in a reporting condition, must be between 11 months and 12 months after that last report that you made. Is that the case? You're going to have you going there every year, every week, or every day. So those are some of the things that you're obliged to do. Now, every offender, if you intend to move from your main or primary residence, or you change your secondary residence, once you're out of any of those residences within 14 consecutive days, you have to inform the sexual offense registry. Again, if you leave Jamaica upon your return, you have to inform the registry that you have returned. A failure to do any of these, that itself constitutes an offense for which can be put before the court. And if you are charged of breaching any of these, you are liable to a fine of up to $1 million or 12 months imprisonment or both. Now, under the turn of the clock, I realize that we're in time. I'm going to stop here. Next week, we're going to pick up on our review of the traffic act. But before I go into traffic act, there's one little thing I want to say more about the sexual offences registry, sexual offenders registry. So until then, we start again.
All right, no problem. Well, a lot we learned this morning, of course, in all honesty, and we thank you for making it so clear and easy for us to understand, comprehend. I want to thank you again, as always, Mr. McKenzie, and we wish you a great day today, and take good care of yourself.
Indeed, and you too, and to Mr. Shelz.
All right.
Thanks, Mr. Man.
All right, that was the Deputy Public Defender, Mr. Herbert McKenzie, joining us inside of Constitutionally Speaking, and this morning we looked at the topic, the Sex Offenders Registry.